You're walking along the street, or you're at a party, or else you're alone, and then you suddenly dig. You're looking in someone's eyes and suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big. You're lunching at 21, or watching your diet, declining a Charlotte Russe, accepting a fig. When out of the clear blue sky, it's suddenly guy and guy. And this could be the start of something big. Yay! It's been so long. It feels like it's been so long, hasn't it?
It's been way too long.
Yes, we already saw June. Hello, June, giving big virtual hugs and kisses. This is Sunday with Stelix, and I am Steven the Medium, and this is Coach Elix.
Coach Elix is in the house.
And we're just so excited that we get to do this, and wherever you're watching or listening from, whether it's right behind this camera or it's your living room, right? Who knows?
Wherever
maybe
you
it's
are.
in the window. Maybe you're stalkers and you're
Hi,
peeking in.
everyone. Yeah, Jillian. Hi, Jillian.
But this is going to be such a great show today or tonight, right? Because we haven't done it in it feels like years, even though it's been, 3 weeks?
Well, it was the holidays.
Yeah.
I think everyone was very busy during the holidays. Everyone needed their time, including us.
Yes.
And now we are ready to get the year started, 2024.
Get the ball rolling, as they say.
Or balls.
Yes.
Whatever works for you. So,
But we're really excited that we get to do this and get to see you. And listen, happy holidays.
Happy New Year. Yes.
Happy everything. So it just is really great to see you. We're also, we have a new stand that Elix bought me. And,
we're trying to figure
unless
out.
I can become like really flexible and lean in, I see, hey, Paula and Michelle, to say hi. Hey, Sil. It's hard for us to see.
We'll get closer.
We'll figure it out. But when we're cooking, I'll go over and look at the comments, and I'm sure I will throw in some readings for everybody. But this is just so fabulous and so fantastic to be here. So, and we had it's snowing out right now here on Cape Cod. It was rain for the most of the day, even though the rest of the state of Massachusetts, a lot of the state was having snow. I think the last I heard was 25,000 people without electricity. And it just changed
not
over.
here, in western.
Yes,
part
where they
of the
got
state,
really
yes.
hit hard, like the Worcester area, if you know Massachusetts, and that kind of area got really hit hard. So we're thankful that we didn't, in that we have electricity. So
I'm thankful. He was hoping for 3 feet of snow because you're like a polar bear.
Yes.
He loves snow.
Hey, Wanda.
Can't
Hey,
wait.
Gwendolyn. I must have Superman eyes because I can actually see. Hey, Croaks.
Well, you actually do. Hi, Crossy.
So we're really, really excited to get to be here and to get to do this. But so Elix, I wish you could see too. Django and little Ricky are right in their little beds, just hanging out and chilling. So, but how is everybody here? I hope everybody's really good. And Elix, what's going on? People need to know. This is what I call our rap time, right? We get to rap with you guys. See what's going on.
So the holidays are over, even though you can probably still see that their holidays are still in our home, and they're going to be probably till this week.
This week?
Well, I mean,
we usually keep everything up to January.
Yeah. It just takes a long time to put it all up, and it takes a long time to.
Yeah, but we also get depressed.
I'm already depressed.
Yeah.
I've been depressed. I get depressed the moment we have New Year's or Three Kings, because we celebrate Three Kings. Yesterday, Steven surprised me, and
I did.
We went to this amazing restaurant. Hello, Erica and Adam from the Pheasant in Dennis.
Yes.
Amazing place. If you ever come to Cape Cod, that's a 5-star restaurant that is a must visit. Really farm to table, and it's really amazing.
It really is amazing.
So, Erica and Adam are wonderful hosts, and they treated us quite well last night.
And you know something? I had no idea that Three Kings was such a big holiday in the Latin culture until I went to Puerto Rico when I met Elix. And this was going back, it's going to be 31 years we're together. So in 93 was the first year I went. And Elix was showing me all around the island and brought me to the mall. And I was staring at him what? Why are there
in the middle of the mall with this line of kids waiting to sit with them. I had no idea, just like Santa Claus, that three kings were in the mall, and it was. You want to hear the coolest part if you don't know about this? Elix, tell them, you know how we do like milk and cookies as kids for Santa, right? And the reindeer and whatnot. Tell them what you do for like Three Kings.
Just about the same thing, except that we put hay for the camels, and but sometimes we do put cookies for the three kings, but mostly hay for the camels. Hay for the camels is a must.
And you put it under your bed?
We put it. I don't remember honestly. I think I just put it outside in the front of the house because I knew that they were gonna. Oh, by the tree because we still kept the tree.
That is so cool.
So that's where we put it because we wanted to make sure that the camels ate the hay.
That is so wild.
Yes.
It's really cool. Imagine just putting out hay because you know that the camels are coming
Hey!
with the God help me, with the Three Kings, which is kind of cool. So, and I never knew that. I don't know, maybe some of you already knew that, but I certainly did, and I thought it was pretty cool. But one year I did see the Three Kings that were like in like these like really fancy get-ups, like
Well,
they were in their costumes,
we
but
probably went to Juana Diaz, which is where, you know, in Puerto Rico, that's the town that is the home of the Three Kings, and they really go all out. So if you're from Puerto Rico and you want to celebrate Three Kings Day, that's where we go, you know, to Juana Diaz, because they really go all out for
Yes.
the Three Day celebration. But you also, you know, in my family, there or in many families in Puerto Rico, there's also a tradition called the La Promesa de los Reyes, and so it's that Three Kings promise. And my grandmother, many years ago, made a promise, and I believe how it went was that one of her sons was in the service, or a couple of the sons were in the service, and she promised to the Three Kings that if they came back safe and sound, that she would celebrate the Three Kings Day from there on after. And she did. So it's called a promise, and it's celebrated on Three Kings Day, and it's celebrated in a house that we had in the mountainside in Puerto Rico. And you had the privilege
Yes.
to really be part of that celebration. And that is a big, in my family, that was perhaps one of the biggest traditions. We invited the whole community, and my whole family would come down and they roasted a pig. There's a story about the pig that Stephen would love to tell you.
no time.
And we would have live music and then an altar to the Three Kings, because again, that party was in as a promise, you know, that my grandma made to them. So,
Promesa.
promesa,
Yes.
la promesa de los tres reyes.
My mother had La Promesa
What was her
in Rhode
promise?
Island.
Yes.
That every day I left for school, she would celebrate me coming back.
Yes.
You know, or if I went to the store, she would celebrate me coming back. Or I went into the backyard. When I came in, she'd celebrate me coming back because that was my mama.
And
right?
if you read
That
the
was a
book,
promesa.
if you read the book, Stephen's book, by the way, you know that
Which is
not
out
every
now.
time that he left saying he was going to school, he actually went to school. So yes, she had very good reasons to make a promise to whomever that if you came back, she was celebrating.
That's
So,
not where I was going,
but
but
that's-
I'm glad you brought up my book.
Yes.
So The Suicide Gift is out. It's out since December 8th. So if you haven't got it, you better just wait till like 8 o'clock until this is over, because don't leave us, and go to Amazon Prime. Amazon.com or Ingram Spots. You can get it either places. So and it's on the Amazon bestseller list. It's amazing, the ebook and the I was going to say the word
the hard copy,
the hard. Well, it's not the hard copy, but the
the printed version.
the printed version.
My God.
I got Spirit already talking to me. Like,
Jeez
listen,
Louise, I'm the
this-
one who often have issues with the language, and I'm correcting you. So no, the printed version.
Yes, both are doing really well. So now I'm at the place of looking for local bookstores so that I can do a book signing. And you know what I think I'm going to do too is present to these bookstores that not only am I going to do a book signing, but because the gift of that book is the mediumship, do like a little mini reading sort of after whatever period of time I'm doing a book reading. How cool is that?
That's
Who would not want to
amazing.
come to get my book signed and then sit down and have me stop bringing in all your loved ones.
Who wouldn't want to
Right,
come
all,
for
all
that?
your loved ones or so.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, speaking of readings in spirit, I had someone this week that I was reading via Zoom, and right at the beginning of the reading, she said, I am crossing my fingers and praying that the Wi-Fi stays solid. And I said, do you usually have problems with the Wi-Fi? And she said, I don't know because I'm in Peru. How cool is that? That I did a reading for someone who was sitting in Peru, and she was like the most darling woman. She was looked like she was probably like in her like. Are you looking for something?
No, keep going. I'm
Like
just
20s?
wanting to make sure that our
And her reading was phenomenal. It really was. I actually had back to back. I think there were 3 readings, or maybe even 4. I don't remember, but they were just pretty incredible. And the greatest thing about doing readings is that I can see auras. So when you finish a reading, or when I finish a reading, there's many, many times that the auras change colors right in that hour session. They change to not really color-wise, because color usually takes a little bit, but like the sort of like the perimeter of the auras, they start getting like puffier. And you know what it's like an analogy like when you have bread, because like I'm like the big cook, right? I mean, I just did, what did I make?
of course, he uses cooking analogies.
Of course.
Coffee and bread. Okay.
Well, when you get bread, when you get the
wait
dough,
to hear more about
and
this.
like you can't do anything with it, right? So you have to wait for it to rise. So then it rises, and then you're all ready to go and make rolls or cut it or whatever you do. It rolls and bread and dough, and so that's what I mean. Like the auras become like fuller, and that's like to have a healthy like chakra system, to have a healthy aura. Like the aura comes out probably around 6 feet from you. And so when I see that, I know that someone's in a really good place. And as many times I see people when I'm doing readings that the auras are like really, really close to them, which means they, they're probably going through something, or like, most likely tough day, tough week, tough year. But the fact that I get to see them change and sort of plump out is pretty cool. That usually happens when someone is holding on to something and someone in spirit brings it up to release it. So I told Helix about this. One woman I was reading, she lost her husband. It was her ex-husband, and she has a boyfriend. So the ex-husband, of course, came through, and it's the father of her 2 kids, and he was hilarious. And they were not married, as I mentioned, they were ex. But he did so much of the reading, and at some point he said, he brought up her name, which I'm not going to say, but he brought up her name. So I said, blah, blah, blah name. And she's like, well, that's my last name. I'm like, well, they wouldn't give me something I already know. And when you made the appointment, I would have seen your last name, something else. So I said to him, as he's like standing next to me, I'm like, so why are you bringing up like her last name? And then he said to me, because she's stuck on it. If looking in the future, she's going to get married and she doesn't want to let it go. And that, so I said to her, I said, your ex is talking about, he supports everything that you do, and all he wants is you to be happy. So as you move forward, if it gets to the point ever that you're ever in a place that, you want to either take someone's name or hyphenate, whatever the case may be, what your ex is saying is do that. You have to do that. You have to be happy. And then she cried, and she said, she was the sweetest woman. She said, that's a sticking point with her boyfriend. That's if they're going to have a fight, that's the fight, because she says they're not engaged, but they're talking about getting engaged. And one of the things is that he must have brought up, or she must have brought up, taking the name. Wow. And her auras at the end of that reading were completely different, just completely different. That she finally, she got this validation from him. Like that's physical stuff. That's not spirit stuff. Like be happy. Do what you need to do to be happy. The kids are already set, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
The life-changing, and I don't say that lightly, the life-changing readings are pretty amazing, right? I mean, look at when I went to a medium in 2010.
You're a perfect
She
example.
told me I was a psychic and didn't know it.
A psychic or a psycho?
Both.
Yeah.
She
was right on both counts.
She said, you a Gemini, so maybe one part of the day you're a psycho and the other part you're a psychic, maybe. I don't know. But look how that changed my life. I mean, I retired from law and practicing and representing kids for 20 years. So,
yes.
But enough about me. What about
Oh
you?
my God, enough about, can we have this recorded, please, so I can play it back again and again? Because that I don't hear that enough. Enough about me. Actually,
Tell everybody
there's,
about you.
no, there's nothing about me, but I think this is a great opportunity. Last Friday, if you didn't have an opportunity to listen to my show, you may want to go back and listen to it on
And what is your show?
Spotify. Get a Grip with Coach Stelix every Friday at 1 p.m. Don't
Get a
forget
grip.
that. And I have an amazing co-host. And Friday we talked about creating a powerful intention for 2024 because often, the thing is New Year's resolutions, and everyone has them, right? But there's a lot of statistics that actually, show that New Year's resolutions really don't work because by the second week of January, most of you don't even remember what the resolution was. And by the end of the month, most people, over 90% of people don't even know what their resolution was, or they haven't followed through, or they've forgotten, or it's done and over with. So we talked about perhaps a powerful way or a better way to start the new year is to create a powerful intention, right? And Stephen talked about ways that you could connect with energy in the universe to create that intention. And one of the things I talked about that for this year, my intention is to give myself more grace, to be present, and to practice putting myself first and not think that when I'm doing so, I'm being selfish because I think oftentimes I was putting myself behind everything else.
I think a lot of people, and probably people
Perhaps
that are
relate
watching
to that.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
Thinking that I was being selfish. And, and you guided me. You've been helping me along the way to really shift that paradigm. But one of the things that we really inviting you to do is to think for yourself, what is a powerful intention that you could create for 2024? Not a resolution, not, what else? I mean,
Resolution covers it, really.
not a resolution, but a powerful intention. Really, a whole new way,
Mm-hmm.
a whole new paradigm to look at starting 2024 powerfully, and more connected with yourself, with the universe, and with those around you. That's what I've been up to, and
I think that's a good thing to be up to. We talked about on the show that this is, I don't call it a human connection. I call it an energy connection because even though we may be in human bodies right now, they're going to go. And we're still, like, if you can get your mindset that this is not just this, it's the energy, then it just opens up so much more. And we talked about that these New Year's resolutions, it's almost like a chore or an obligation. Everybody's like, oh, it's January 1st.
like I have to.
Yeah, I have to.
I have to because everyone does it,
Yeah,
right?
and that's probably the reason in the why that so many of people that put these resolutions together don't work or don't last because it's like, okay, it's the beginning of the year. And, if you've taken any of my classes, which I know some of you guys that are watching have, is one of the phrases I love and what I really promote is forward from here. So it just means that no matter what happened a second ago, you can change it and say forward from here. It's a new person. It's a new Stephen, a new Helix, a new you. So you can change it and then set your intention to wherever you want it to be and where you want it to go.
And we're going to do a show. We actually talked about that. We're going to create a show for my Friday show, Get a Grip with Coach Helix. We're going to call it Forward from Here.
Yes.
And Stephen is going to be the number one guest for that show.
I'm not always. Just saying. I thought I was, but I guess not. There's so many things I learned from you people.
A few minutes ago, it's not about me. Suddenly, it now become all about him. Just saying, so you guys are my witnesses.
Well, let me just give a shout out to that. The week before, every last Friday of the month, I do Through the Static, which is my radio show that I had done. I've been doing for 5 years, and it was weekly, but then it got too much. So I take one of Helix's Fridays. The last Friday of the month, people call in, get readings. So my cousin and her daughter, my cousin and niece, they came up from Florida. They got in right on time. They got to go in the studio. We went into the studio, so you can see it on WARA's website or my Facebook page or YouTube page too. WARA's YouTube channel. But that was really cool. And as some of you probably saw, we did the polar plunge, which was like
amazing.
so cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
it was
We looked
amazing.
so cute that we all got the same. That was Morgan, my niece's idea, to get the same bathrobes, and they were burgundy, and we were the hit of the polar plunge.
Yeah, and Stephen, we were interviewed by several of the newspapers there. They took pictures, and we were convinced that we were going to be in the front page of the papers, and we weren't. And Stephen declared that he's not buying any of those papers anymore because they didn't put us in the front page.
Just
saying,
a
right?
crazy picture of everyone jumping in, and we weren't even in it. So, and we had pictures. We had like 3 reporters.
Yeah, we did.
Come up to us.
We
and
did look
interview
cute.
us. We did. We
So.
did, and we had. But it was a great time. It was such a great memory to be made, and all the money raised goes to the town's food pantry. And last year they raised like $35,000. So
It's amazing.
and that food
And we
pantry-
actually got to meet a lady when we were buying the robes that actually uses the pantry or have
Yes.
used the pantry. And she asked us about what we were doing, buying robes, and we told her about the polar plunge. And she knew about, how it supports the pantry, and she was very thankful.
Yeah. Well, I
So-
think she started with, why are you guys buying women's bathrobes? So, because they were like the cute ones. So,
Nobody could ever tell there were women's bathrobes. They look really cute. So
No, and the first one I put on was a 3X. Even for a woman, like that was a huge robe. That was
3X
big.
is pretty big.
So I think I ended up with extra large, but which fit really good.
Yes.
But we really did. We looked really cute. So
Yes.
and had the
we
greatest
did.
time with Holly and Morgan. We love you and cannot wait to see you again. So and we did all stuff on the cake too.
So I also want to make sure, because I can't see, so this will be a test. Matt and Sandy and Lisa, shout out to them. And if you're not here listening, you'll be in a lot of trouble tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not showing up Friday.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Those are my CrossFit, people, and he's actually gotten to know them, and so he is coming to the holiday
Well,
party
maybe.
Friday.
Just maybe.
We shall see. But
And administratively, just let me say that on Amazon Prime, my episode of Doc Echoes is out. So it's the
That's
third
right,
episode. You can go to
yes.
Amazon Prime and watch it. And I have another episode coming out. I'm not sure if it's the next one, but it should be coming out. But the third one, just go to Amazon Prime and get to see it. It's a fabulous. When we're working with Matthew, who's the producer and director, he's amazing. And Tammy and the staff are just.
But you were amazing. I mean,
it was a great. Yeah.
You were off the hook, amazing. Let's just say that.
Well, and as a matter of fact, Tuesday night, go to my either Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, because me and my co-host from the show, Monique Too Soon, are going to be talking about backstage, and Matthew's going to come in too. So we're just going to chat about the show. So how cool is that?
That's awesome. So I have another shout out. Another shout out is I also, I'm privileged to coach. I've been coaching the Sundance fellow filmmakers for the last 3 years.
He's a big shot.
And we get passes to the Sundance Festival. We couldn't attend the in-person festival this year because we have other engagements, but we get to watch the movies. And so my last year fellow has been an amazing woman. My God, a force to be reckoned with, Francisca, and you got to know Francisca and her
From Chile.
Yes, and her partner Fernanda. But I also have a new fellow, and I know she is watching Flor. That's flower in Spanish, and she
Flor.
is from Ecuador and Dominican Republic. And this woman,
I'm gonna meet her.
yeah, you're gonna get to meet her, but she's so amazing that one of her films is in contention to be an Academy Award nominated
Wow.
film. So kudos to my fellow
Amazing.
team coaches that I'm so proud of to have, to be a part of. So
Yes. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And one last thing before we start this Well, I'm going to guide you to what you're going to do, right?
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
cooking and
I
stuff.
can't wait.
But a big shout out also to our dear friend Missy,
Oh my God, Missy, I
who
hope
just
you're
did the
watching.
dopey race in Florida.
Yeah, she did, and how she managed to do dopey. She had to come back, forth, travel, whatever.
There was a lot
And she
going on
did
in
it.
her life, and the fact that she did it's 3 days, and the last one is a full marathon. The one before that is a half marathon, and the one before that is it a 10K? I don't know.
So I think it's a 5, a 10, a half, and a full.
I
That's
thought
what
it's
is.
4 days. I thought
It's
it was
4
3
days. No, it's 4.
And she did it. That blows my mind that you can do a half marathon and the next day get up and do a full marathon. She's a
She did
beast.
it.
She's a beast and she's incredible. And she showed us when we were in Florida all her medals, and they're like the coolest. I mean, she's got like a whole wall of medals, right?
Yes.
She did the New York Marathon. It's Missy, get out of here.
She's a real woman.
Yes.
So
she's pretty cool. But I think we got to get moving
I think
here
we do have to get
because
moving.
people
you're
want to
gonna-
know what you're cooking.
So you're gonna guide me. So tell me what I'm doing now.
Okay, so today we're going to be making
She doesn't even know what we're making. Oh my God. All right, move along, Betty. So what we're gonna do,
I'm going to come to the comments so
Yes.
that I can see them well, and we can start chatting.
Yeah,
So-
and I'm keeping track of some of the comments here, but I think those are
Oh,
all
that's
the
what she
comments.
was doing.
That's what I was doing. Anyway, so
What to see?
he's been singing this, commercial jingle for the last few days. I don't know why you keep singing that jingle, but anyways, this recipe is one of my ultimate favorite recipes. Is a recipe for pan de maíz, cornbread, and this is a recipe that you could do as a loaf or you could do as muffins. And today I'm actually going to make muffins because they're easier. We can have them for breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner. And it's a super easy recipe. It's a variation. I've been playing with this recipe, for several years. I will give kudos to my friend Jeanette in Puerto Rico because she shared with me the original recipe. But again, this is a variation, and I've been playing to see, what works and what doesn't. So I love this recipe. So anyways, first things first is this is one of the variations. So I've tried using all-purpose flour. I've tried using self-rising flour. They both work, but this cake flour is what works the absolute best for this recipe. So if you don't have it, you should get a box of cake flour because this actually makes the muffins more cake-like. So this is what I highly recommend. So what we do, we're gonna sift 1 full cup of cake flour and 1/2 cup of cornmeal. And that can be the choice, the brand of your preference, whatever that is. So we're gonna sift that together and make sure that there's no lumps. Actually, to this, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm actually gonna sift that with this as well, and a little pinch of salt.
Did you tell them already what you're making?
Yes, I did. Pan de maíz or cornbread. So, and again, we sift just to make sure that there's no lumps in the flour and that it's nice and lumpless. So that's the flour. So again, it's 1 full cup of cake flour. If you don't have cake flour, go to your local market and get it, and 1/2 cup of cornmeal, whatever your brand choice is. 1 tablespoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder, and 1 tablespoon or a pinch of salt.
Give a shout out to Puerto Ricans and stuff.
¿Cómo?
Give a shout out.
¿Cómo? A shout out to all my Boricuas out there that I know are listening to me. Okay, I have, I'm getting guided here. No, por supuesto. Saludos a todos los boricuas que están escuchando o viendo este video. Saludos a todos. Esto es mi receta de pan de maíz a mi manera. Espero que la disfruten, ¿ok? Bueno, y salud y felicidades a todos. Feliz Día de los Reyes a todos. Bueno, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna mix. I have 3 eggs, so normally it would be 4 eggs if they're the smaller side. These were sort of bigger, so I just did 3 eggs here. And to that, I am going to beat them with a full cup of regular sugar. And I am going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. And always, my rule of thumb is always use the real thing.
The real thing.
Is what I mean. I know that's imitation probably does the job, but for me, if you don't use the real thing, I'm gonna send you to culinary school. So this may get a little loud in here for a moment, but just bear with me, okay? So, and what we want to do is we want to beat this until it's fully incorporated and it's creamy. So that looks really good already.
Have you guys made cornbread before or pan de maíz? I'm curious.
If you haven't, this is what it looks like.
I love Gwendolyn says the cornbread reminds her of her grandma. That is so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Diana!
So to the wet mix, I'm gonna add the dried ingredients. And so again, this is the 1 cup of cake flour and a 1/2 cup of cornmeal.
And by the way, Sandra and Paula both said that they've made corn or pan de maíz or cornbread.
Beautiful, beautiful. Try this recipe and let me know how you like it. So I'm adding.
So is Jean.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. So I'm adding the dry ingredients to the wet, and then I'm gonna add a half a cup of milk, just whole milk, and a 1/4 cup of oil. And I'm gonna tell you, actually, one other thing that I'm glad I just didn't forget.
So you guys, Barbara Popowski, the guy, you guys who haven't made it maybe from scratch and never made it, I think you should try this.
Yes, try it and let me know how you like it. By the way, you could actually do this by hand. This is not a hard batter to mix. I'm using this because it saves a little bit of time, even though it's a little bit noisy. So it's already looking pretty amazing, okay? And I need to get this ingredient because I want to explain what this ingredient does. So traditionally, this calls for a whole cup of oil. Now you could use vegetable oil, you could use canola oil, you could use corn oil. I use vegetable oil, but yeah, go ahead.
April wants to know, does the cake batter already have sugar in it?
So the cake batter does not have sugar. It's just cake batter. Cake flour it's more refined because it's for cakes. So what you're gonna see the difference between cake flour is that the texture of the muffin is gonna be more cake-like, more soft and spongy, if you will. And that's why I substitute cake flour for or all-purpose flour. So the other substitution I make is I actually, instead of doing a whole cup of oil, I do a 1/2 cup of melted butter and a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. So I'm gonna add that to the the batter, and I'm gonna blend that.
And Linda said her French grandmother used to call it a giant cake.
Yes.
That's a Rhode Island thing.
Yes. And last ingredient is a 1/2 cup of milk. and it's fully incorporated. It already looks amazing, actually, to be honest with you.
Hi, Robin. Robin says in the milk warm, and Samantha said butter makes everything better.
Butter makes absolutely everything better. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything is fully incorporated. So, I mean, it actually smells really amazing, to be honest with you, already. So let me just use a little. So I'm just doing some of these by hand because,
That's why he does CrossFit,
yes.
to be able to do that.
Yeah, again, I'm just making sure there's no lumps. The batter looks beautiful. Look at that. So absolutely no lumps in there. So, like I said to you guys before, you could do a loaf, and that's perfectly okay, or you could do muffins. So I'm gonna use these muffin pans, or what would you call this? Muffin tins?
Yeah.
Muffin pans? Yeah. So I'm gonna use this. I should get 12 out of this, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that they are, you spray them really good so that they don't stick with, butter spray or whatever your favorite spray is.
And Gene said adding butter instead of only oil sounds good.
It just adds flavor. Again, I've been playing with the recipe. I've been adding, baking is more of a science, but you can still play. You can see, what you like. You can see what works and what doesn't work. And this has worked. And actually, they not only look, but they taste pretty amazing. So what I'm going to do is I have already 2 tins of 6 muffins each. And just to be consistent, I'm actually using a large ice cream scooper. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna scoop 1 full scoop on each, and just to make sure I get 6 muffins. Steven, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here.
Yes, you can.
Okay, beautiful.
You can definitely see. Donna Marie just said that she's new to Rhode Island. She moved. I'm new to Rhode Island. Moved here 15 years ago. So happy to meet you both. Well, happy to meet you, Donna Marie. My daughter has always loved cornbread. Will this recipe be accessible somewhere else? Donna Marie, every week we talk about we've got to put it and post it somewhere. And
yeah, we can definitely put it
Yes.
on our social media.
We will get it somewhere.
Yeah. But if anything, you can just listen back to the recording and just, it's a simple recipe. I mean, seriously, this recipe is as
Cheryl, it's
simple
corn
as it gets.
muffin.
So we really had just about 6 muffins. 12 muffins, 6 muffins in each tin. Let me just make sure. So I
think it's wild that you use like an ice cream scoop.
Yeah, of course. Just because it's consistent, but I don't like to leave anything behind. I don't know about you guys, but I am one of those people that I like to make sure that my whole container or the whole batter is used.
1.5 years ago, I got it. I'm new to Rhode Island. I've been here 15 years. I'm like, you're slowly settling in. Now I get it. Now I understand.
What happened?
I'm just chatting.
Just chatting
with the crew.
And once again, if you've read the book.
Michelle said you need to make a cookbook.
Oh, of course. If you read the book, this batter does not have any, what was it? In the pancake batter that you use?
Bugs.
Doesn't have any bugs. But you have to read the book if you want the whole story about the pancakes that him and his cousin made for his mom.
That's for the whole family.
For the whole family. So
that's a good story.
Yes, it is. All right, let me just clean that up a little bit. So any questions, Steven? Any questions so far? So I'm just cleaning up so that this doesn't look too messy. Any questions for me?
Yeah, so Cheryl said the same. She uses butter instead of oil.
Yes. Now, using oil it's sort of important. So, I recommend that you use a little combination, just like I did, of butter. So use a half cup of butter and a quarter cup of oil. I think that is what makes for the best consistency in the muffins. So here they are, but we're not done yet. So what I like to do is I like to sprinkle the top with coarse sugar. And that's because when it bakes, then you have that little coarse sugar at the top, that little crunchy, bite that just makes a big difference. So I'm just putting a little coarse sugar on top of every muffin.
But when you said that we're not done,
Yes.
do you guys, here I am, do you remember back a number of years ago, there was a woman that was an exercise person. She's a blonde woman, and she had like these VCR tapes that would come out, and she would the little clip would show her exercising, and he says, "We're not done." That's what she used to say at the end. But that's not all. Like this, she sounded like she was taken over by some like monster and just talking until the end of it was like that voice. I just needed to share that with you.
And that's not all. So here is what they look like. So I sprinkle that coarse sugar on top of every muffin. I'm gonna bake them at 350. Now because they're muffins, I'm gonna bake them for about 20 minutes, but you gotta keep an eye on them just to make sure that they don't burn. And what I do is I just at the 20-minute mark, I just use a little, tester here just to make sure that they're fully cooked and cooked through. And then I take them out and let them rest. So
No, Samantha said, so you fill them all the way up instead of 3/4 of the way. Do they overflow on you?
no, so they're not all the way up. So they may look to you all the way up, but there's still little room for them to grow and not overflow. I actually don't like them to overflow too much because then it becomes a hot mess at the top.
And also
So-
another question, do you ever use papers instead of spraying?
You can use papers, absolutely. That's a preference. If you want to use papers instead of praying, you can absolutely do that. So just to recap, just to make sure, again, this is a very, very easy recipe. So you are gonna use 1 cup of cake flour, not all-purpose flour, not self-rising flour, but cake flour. Half a cup of cornmeal. You can use the cornmeal of your preference. A tablespoon of baking powder and a pinch of salt. Now you're gonna sift that together to make sure there's no crumbs. You're gonna put it aside. In a different bowl, you're gonna whisk together 3 eggs. If they're too small, you do 4 eggs. If they're too big, you may do 2. I use 3 eggs. That's what I go by. You're gonna whisk the eggs with 1 cup of sugar. Into that, you're gonna add a tablespoon of the real vanilla extract. And you are going to blend all of that together. Then you're gonna incorporate the dry and the wet. And as you incorporate, you're gonna add a half a cup of melted butter and a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. You could use canola oil, you can use corn oil, or whatever oil. Coconut oil would work just as well, or grape oil. Whatever oil is your preference, just you can substitute and use that, and a half cup of whole milk. You blend all of that together, and then you have this beautiful batter. And in the oven, it goes for, if you do the muffins, in the oven goes for 20 minutes at 350. If you do a loaf, you want to bake that at 350 for 40 minutes until the center comes out fully clean. So I'm going to put this in the oven.
So Gwendolyn also said, so it's sweet with the vanilla.
Say that again?
She said, so it's sweet with the vanilla in it.
Yeah, well, the vanilla adds just a beautiful, rich vanilla flavor to it. It is going to be sweet because you are adding a cup of sugar to the eggs. So yes, these muffins are absolutely sweet muffins.
Amanda! Amanda's in the
Hi,
house.
Amanda. Any other questions? And so, I'm going to actually, you know what, let me just make sure I put the timer for 20 minutes. Any other questions, Stephen?
I don't see any, except some people commenting how good they're going to look. And
They're going to be
how
amazing.
they're going to taste.
They are going to be amazing. And by the way, if there's a recipe that you want to make and you don't have the recipe at hand, you can always, send me a message and I'll gladly give you the recipe. Paula Di Quattro actually texted me today. She wanted to make the salad dressing, so I gave her the recipe for the salad dressing.
Yeah, she commented on that.
Yeah.
I meant to bring it up. Linda actually just said she's added maple syrup to the batter as well.
You could do that. I mean, you could, if you wanted less sugar, you could use a half a cup of sugar. You could use a half a cup of sugar, maybe a half a cup of maple syrup. Now, the maple syrup, you gotta be a little bit careful about because it's liquid, so the batter may be more liquid than otherwise. But it's all workable. Yeah, so if that's something that you want to try, absolutely go for it.
And Gwendolyn said she's going to make them.
Yeah, I think you're gonna love them. I mean, these muffins taste really amazing. Steven, do you not love every time I make these muffins?
Yes.
Yeah. So
they are amazing.
And they're really wonderful for breakfast, for lunch, for snacks, for any time that you find yourself hungry and want a little something.
Yeah.
So,
or if you're doing the Watusi,
that too.
You need energy. That's what you need.
That too. So we're gonna now wait till the muffins are done, and we're gonna pass it on to Stephen, the medium.
Watusi. Hello. Listen, I can't bring you anything in the kitchen except me, and I can. Denise wanted to know how about honey, Elix? Or maybe she's talking about me.
Again, you can. You just have to make sure. You have to be careful with the ratios because honey is also liquid, so you don't want the batter to be too wet.
Yes.
So just be
and wait for the end result
careful.
too, because
Yes.
you're going to see the end result.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
Samantha. So listen, medium time, spirit time.
Spirit time.
So anybody want to ask a question, ask about someone in particular, like how's my mom, how's my dad, how's my dog, I will check in and answer. So, Paula, so you asked any messages for me. There's a lot of messages, Paula. I'm slowing everybody down because they keep Paula. Someone's this is kind of interesting. This is for Paula. Paula, somebody just talked about the teeth. Someone cracked a tooth or dentist or something. This is something that I don't know if this is recent or if this is something that was like a past story that someone did something with a tooth. But you may say, why in God's name would somebody bring that up or start with that? It's because it's a validation that you have to have somewhere in there, and that's where they're bringing it up, whether it's now or whether it's in the past. Paula and Dad. I did. Wow, maybe that's another Paula too. That's wild, Paula. That's kind of cool. Well, not for you, Paula, but so in a dad, Paula, the first Paula I was talking to. So Linda, my son just passed. He was very sick. So Linda, I'm tuning in. Linda, your son's really excited. Linda, your son keeps talking about Brian or Bob, a B name. I can't tell if this is someone living or somebody crossed, but he keeps talking about that and keeps thanking you, Linda. He also said that he was so conflicted because he was, as you just wrote, I think you said he was sick for a long time. Not my son, my sister's son. Okay, so nephew, I got it. Whoever, he's definitely nephew is coming through with a big smile. But he just keeps saying he was conflicted because he didn't want to leave, yet it felt like, and I'm not sure yet. He hasn't told me what so he keeps talking about the stomach area. So I keep hearing him talk about the stomach. Linda, where's the B, Bob or Brian come in? There's a really, really strong B name. You know what? Just your nephew keeps talking about chess or checkers or something. That's what I keep hearing him talk about. That maybe someone years ago used to get into that or play with that. So, let me know about that. And he just said two. I don't know if he's got two siblings or he's one of two, but he just said auntie two. So tell me about that also. And he also, Linda, hey Joanne, he's also talking about the car, Linda. There's something. I don't necessarily think it's his car, or it could be, but yeah, him and his mom played. I love that, Linda. So he's bringing that up as such a beautiful validation, whether it was chess or checkers, to say that he's still doing that. But he's also talking about the car, and he keeps saying the registration or the inspection. Someone's got to, like, I think it feels like he's saying someone's got to register their car or inspect their car. Either it's overdue or this month it's due, something there. But he also just said, auntie, grandpa's here. I think that's what he's saying. So Linda, is your dad in spirit? That's what I think he's talking about. And it's just really excited that you actually asked about him, and that he sort of made my head and face go right to you so that I could bring that up. So yeah. So he's got to be giving that also as a validation. And Frank, Linda, there's a Francis Frederick F name I keep hearing that he's talking about. Your father also talks about the name passed down too. So someone's got a name passed down, but the Linda, he keeps saying, auntie, why aren't you getting my sister is sitting. Oh my God. So his mom, wow. So mom is here. So mom and auntie, I don't think you answered me, or maybe did I miss it? Where's the B come in? Where's the Bob? Brian, he's yelling, Brenda, Bob, Brian. There's something with the B he keeps talking about. And oh my God, did he have a tattoo? What, or is he talking about someone's tattoo on their arm? So, no idea. Linda, yeah, you do. Look at your sister next to you and ask her. It feels like it's a BR name, because I'm saying if she's not getting it, I need more. A BR name, like almost like Brady. That's what I'm hearing. So, or Broom. I don't know if there's a connection with Broom, but there's a BR. So just make sure you hang on to it. So it also, it's interesting. He also just talked to. Again, I'm slowing him down. There's something with someone's head too, Linda and Mama. Someone's migraines or something here he's talking about. Something is like, I feel like my head got hit with something. So either someone crossed, or now he's talking about like an aneurysm or a tumor or really strong migraines. So also just make sure you keep that with you. But he's here and has certainly made a mark in his life here. So the interesting thing with your son and nephew is that he wants to make sure fungus. I don't know. This is almost like I'm playing password. Broom, fungus. I don't know what that is. But he just wants to make sure you guys know that he did make a mark for himself. and that what he doesn't want anyone to feel like he didn't accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. That fungus in his head. Oh, in his head. Linda, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like you know what he's talking about, because my head just feels like it's exploding. So just keep with you what he just said, that he's very happy to have been in the family, but he got everything done. You know, he also talks about, I think it's him, Chris Broom is one of his friends that passed away. Oh, maybe that's the BR, that why I couldn't get that, because it's not a normal name. I bet. But you know something? When you just said that, Chris and your nephew and mom's for the son, he keeps bringing up somebody thought about sort of like being certified. Like it almost feels like I'm going to be like certified for something like, I don't know if this is police, fire, if this is like electrician, but it feels like I didn't do it or I didn't finish it or it was short-lived. There's something that I feel like I'm getting certified in, but I don't, like there's something around it, if you will. So Linda, think about that. That's what he's giving. And this could also be Chris, if that's what I think you said. Yeah, Chris is his first name. Someone was going through some kind of certification, but what is the tattoo? That right here, he keeps yelling, tattoo. Maybe it's Chris's tattoo. I don't know. But there's a tattoo that he keeps talking about. So just make sure you keep that with you. So, and you know, also know that he's there with you, and he's with mom, and he's with the family. So, you know, the great thing is this is, you can go back to it, you can watch it, and people will get to understand it if you missed anything, because, you know, there's a lot I throw at people when spirit just comes forward. So, and these comments are like also slow, but I'm sure you understand it and you get it. He and his brother haven't gotten, what's this? He and his brother haven't gotten on his shoulder. He has a tattoo of his wife's thumbprint. Wow. His shoulder, that's so cool. I love that he's doing this. So just giving that as a validation. But what is the certification, Linda? Maybe somebody here is being certified for something. It feels like I have to go through a process to be certified for something. So keep that with you also. And just I will leave you with that, because that's a lot that he gave, and so did Chris. Those two feel like there was talk about a business or something together. When you brought up Chris Broom, I felt like the second you said that, it felt like there was something. I don't know what that is. Kirdula? Maybe that's a different language, or am I just dumb? I'm not really sure. In any case, it feels like that. So keep that with you, like sort of like thinking about a business, or again, I have to put the puzzles or the pieces to the puzzle together. So it could be for him and Chris or somebody else, but it felt like it was the two of them connected too. So, and lastly, he keeps talking about the bed. Bed. It's like a midwife. Oh, a doula. April, I blame my eye. Trying to read these comments. Oh, a doula. I got it. I don't know where the doula comes in. In any case, I'm going to leave you with, your son keeps talking about the bed. When spirit talks about the bed, it usually means that they either died at home or stayed at home for a good portion of their time. And that's why they're talking about the bed, because the bed was a biggie when they would go into the bed, or somebody needs a bed, or something just happened with the bed, or a cot or something like that. So keep that with you, and hopefully that will make some
you had a care doula
news. Yeah, I don't know if that's what you meant, that the doula was with him. There's birth doulas and Donna Marie, I did not know that. I did not know there was end of life doulas.
Yes.
I've never heard that expression. I mean, I've heard of like people on hospice coming in, but I never knew that. Wow, that's I learned something. That's pretty wild. End of life doulas. Wow. And I keep saying lastly, but who's the M, Linda? Mike Mary, Mike, something like that. So that's what he keeps talking about. So death doulas. Yeah, you were talking about someone getting a certification. I thought that's why she was talking about being a doula. Maybe if there's someone who's, it could be April. Thank you. I'm not really sure because Linda's not responding. So anybody else that I can tune in and check in with? Listen, all your loved ones, anyone who's on here, your loved ones are here. It's like that, and they pop in. I love this dynamic too. Like I'm right in the camera, and Helix is back there. So, yes, he was. Let me just see this, Linda. Yes, he was in bed. He gave us a hard time about it, and yes, she. Oh my God, now that she is correct. So, okay, perfect. Thank you, April. I love that. So Jamie, my son Dante. So Jamie, is this the Jamie I know? It's Jamie McLean, isn't it? Right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the Jamie I know.
No, she doesn't have a son.
No, that's what I was going to say. So, Jamie, I'm sorry. Your name is the same of someone we know, and she's got 2 girls. So I just kind of got thrown when you said my son Dante. So, no, it is Jamie.
She said, a son?
I didn't. You have 2 girls. Oh, you've then I guess you're asking me because you lost a son, Jamie. You think as a medium I would know that, right? Right. So yeah. So let me tune in. I had no idea. Jamie, I love your son. Your son is very, very interesting. Your son doesn't want to talk about him being in spirit because in his eyes, he's never been in spirit. He's been here. But he keeps talking about, I know your girls are young because I see you on Facebook, but there's a teacher connected here. Your son keeps saying that someone is, it feels like he's talking about someone's possibly thinking about being a teacher. That's what I keep feeling. Oh, shoot. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something here. Lost a boy, went for miscarriage.
4 months.
Oh, my God. Jamie, yes, the 2 girls. Jamie, what's the teacher he keeps talking about? He keeps saying something about, I don't know if this is somebody that is a teacher or in spirit, but it feels like he's talking about the 2 girls, and he keeps talking about the necklace or the pendant. Is something connected with the girls or one of the girls or maybe even you? But your son keeps doing this and keeps talking about the pendant or the necklace. I don't know if this is something new, maybe for the holidays that someone got, or it's something existing. And what is he talking about? He's talking about a tunnel, Jamie. I had a necklace made when we lost. Oh my God, Jamie, that's what he's talking about. So he knows. That's just with the charm. I love that. That's probably why he's making me do this. So he's here and letting you know that the tunnel. There's something with a tunnel that he's making me feel like it's an experience with you and your husband and the girls. That's what I'm feeling. That is someone petrified of tunnels, or there's something here with. I love your son because he's very animated. He's so excited he gets to do this. He just said it's been a long time, Ma, that I've been waiting for this. So he's here, but he keeps talking about what it feels like a tunnel, like you'd go like in Disney World that you'd go through. And I don't know if someone had wait a minute, recently had family pics done near a tunnel. Oh my God, Jamie. Wow. Oh my God. I got shivers through my head to my toe because he's the family pics. He's bringing that up because could be went to Disneyland too recently. Yeah, I mean, it's the tunnel. It's definitely the tunnel, especially when you say you had family pics there, because he wants to make sure you know that he's part of the family, that he's with you and never has left. I love that. I mean, I know you said about the necklace, but he's talking also about the ring, Jamie. Something about a ring that feels like it went missing or lost. I don't know if it was then found, but there's a ring that disappeared that he's talking about. That I don't know if this is like your parents or a story that from your grandmother or grandfather or so. But at some point there was a ring that's missing because he keeps showing me the flashlight, which means that someone at some point was looking for it. So, oh my God, my and brother-in-law died, and my husband used to wear it, and then he put it on his necklace and he lost it. Oh my God, Jamie. So your brother-in-law, wow. So he's coming through with your son and just making sure you know that he's here too. So oh my God, that's why he was doing this. It was a double validation. Your son with the necklace and the pendant, and this is the ring on the necklace. That's pretty wild, right? It's just a way that they're all letting you know. And you know what I gotta just say? Your son is orchestrating all of this. Your son, Jamie, is like the MC. He is like it's so cool that he's controlling. You know what I just turned back and looked at Elix is because he just looked at Elix and smiled, and I wanted to like feel that. Your son just looked at Elix, like gave him like this big smile, which is really cool. So, hey Jackie, I never see you here. So Jamie, just know your brother-in-law is stepping forward, but your son is the best smile, but he's killing me with the teaching. Like he's like I can see, like it almost makes me feel like because he's with your two girls all the time, right? It almost makes me feel like one of the girls at some point was pretending to be a teacher. Like, all right, now students sit down or put like stuffed animals in a chair to be a teacher. But there's a huge teaching thing. He just said, "Ma, come on." You're like, so far you're 2 for 2. You know this. I love your son. It's pretty cool. But your son, just keep it with you, Jamie, because sometimes, or a lot of times, we finish this and then I get an email like, "Oh my God, Stephen." They do that as playing. You know what, Jamie? Yes, that's that may be something random, but yeah, that's exactly why your son's bringing that up because he's with them. He just said that he would have been close to the same birthday. They play school. I love that. His birthday was close to someone's birthday. So was it your girls? Your son just said my birthday would fall really close to someone's birthday or anniversary. Something really close. I think I'm getting that right. Or someone's birthdays are really close, or something is very, very close, like within days. It feels like he's talking about him, and he's referencing the girls. So maybe the girls. Hey, Carrie. Maybe the girls are close birthdays, but there's something. It felt like it was your son's day of in what? Day of in next day. What is that, Jamie? Like, whose are they? I got chills through my entire body with your son. He's really powerful too, which is really wild. And just a son born. Wow, so the birthday of your son born, and then the next day is someone else's. Wow, Jamie, it's your boy, right? I mean, that's why he's giving these very specific validations to say it's me, it's really me. I love that. He also just said, not a big surprise, that my mom thinks of since I crossed, my mom and my dad think of me every single day. My dad, though, keeps it in. My dad, he says, my dad is good. My dad's very good with feelings. He said, I got the best mom and the best dad and the best love. I love you, Dad. I mean, your son just said, Stephen, it's mom and dad's relationship is like your relationship. Like, we're going on 31 years, right? So that relationship with you and your husband is pretty phenomenal. He said,
Who's the silly one? I want to know.
It doesn't always have to be that way. But he just, your husband, he just said, my dad sometimes he puts his feelings in his back pocket, and they're always there, but he doesn't necessarily just always bring it up. But your son just said, Jamie, that your husband connects with the sky. Like, I guarantee you, your husband has said something, true statement that your husband has seen something in the sky, like a falling star, or looks in the sky, or there's something, because your son says that's my connection with my dad. It feels like the astronomy or something looking up. Maybe your husband just gets like peace, at nighttime or so, just looking up in the sky, and that peace really is your son just wrapping his arms around him. But your son just also said he just said, Junior. He said yes in meditation. Wow, I love that. I love that. Hi, husband. Jamie, I don't know your husband's first name, but I'm glad that he got it and he's listening too. Oh my God, what did I just say? Your son, Junior, Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul, is your name passed down? Why does your son talk about the junior, which means there's a name? Doesn't mean that it's an actual junior, but it means that your son's giving validation for somebody passing it down, or if he was living, his name was going to be passed down, or it was. Paul, oh my God, Paul is a junior. Oh, dear God, that's your boy, Paul. I love that. I'm getting chills so much from your son, because he just keeps talking about how much he loves you with his sisters. And Paul, I got to say this without getting emotional, because your son's making me. Your son just said they grow differently in spirit, but he just said everywhere my dad goes, I go. He shows me as he's little, and he's like right on your leg. So like every walk, like every step you take, Paul, he's like almost like, like if someone was to grab on, maybe your daughters do this, like if someone, your son's showing me like someone younger grabbing onto to like hugging the parent's body, and almost stepping on their foot. So as you walk, like they're walking with your leg, they're like an extension of your leg. That's what your son's talking about. I probably bet it's something connected to his sisters, and also you, that he's always with you. And he says he's always with Mom. It's so cool, because he can be with you guys at the same time, but he keeps referencing Mom in the kitchen too. Something like that. And let me just tell you something, that your son just said, Ma and Dad, listen to this. Yes, one does that too, Paul. I love that. Coins. Coins, your son leaves coins everywhere. Coins. It's kind of cool though. He gives the coins to Dad and gives the feathers to Mom. So Jamie, you've got birds and butterflies and dragonflies. Paul, you've got coins. That's how your son leaves these messages for you guys. So hey Kara, hi Stelix. So Jamie, I'm just so glad you all your loved ones in spirit, both you and Paul's loved ones in spirit, even ones you didn't meet, like even if you never met, like a great grandfather or even grandparents, all of them are behind your son, and they are emotional, like they're just, all I hear is crying, because they know how much this means to your son, and they know how much this means to you guys. So and don't ever think, Jamie and Paul, that it wasn't your son that had you come on, Jamie, and he caught my eye when you said my son. And I almost like thought, maybe I'm screwing this up, because I don't remember Jamie having a son. I just always see the two girls. So which is kind of cool. So I love it. Love the messages. Love you both. Made my day so much. Jamie, we love you guys too. And I'm so glad I got to do that with your son. That was pretty amazing. Not for me, just for you guys. So
we have muffins.
Oh my God, we're so late. So hold that thought. Here we go.
So look at,
I love Elix. We've got muffins.
look how beautiful they came out. Be careful, it's hot.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Is it not?
I got it. Look at this.
Look at how beautiful, don't. I got it.
You
as
know.
The muffins go down. Just saying. They look absolutely stunning, and I highly, highly recommend that you
Make them.
make them.
Look at the presentation. Oh, come on. Look at this.
Come on.
Look at Elix. Like, is this cool or what?
So
We're going to dig into one, right?
absolutely. So
You know, Elix and I watch the Food Network, or create a lot. And every time we watch it, one of the things that we have such an issue with is people like having these cooking shows that go through, like, make 1, 2, or 3 dishes or whatever, and then at the end they're like, and here's the end result. Like,
And they don't-
have a nice day. It's like, eat the damn thing.
They don't taste them, so
Like, we want to see
so
you
you
eat
want
it.
to open that close to, so that they can, close to the camera, so they can see. Open it there. So
Well,
they-
crumbs are gonna fall.
Oh, please, so you
Okay,
can
ready?
see
Okay,
how
here we go.
beautiful that
Look at
looks.
this. Look at this.
Look at the steam coming out of that.
Look at that.
And I'm telling you
And
guys,
look at this.
go ahead. I'm telling you guys, using cake flour makes
Karen.
all the difference.
Oh
in
my
the world.
God.
So I highly, highly, highly
Oh my God.
recommend that you use, follow the recipe. 'Cause
Seriously.
you're gonna love that. You're gonna love it.
I know I shouldn't talk with my mouth
That's
full,
okay.
but this is not like a normal corn muffin. Seriously, it's amazing. I mean, the top of it is crunchy, like a little bit of a crunch.
Because of the coarse sugar, it makes a big difference.
The inside is like buttery. It's just, this is amazing. This is, I mean, and never mind the smell. I mean,
It smells amazing.
Yeah.
The vanilla. Can you
the
smell
vanilla, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And they're so cute too. I mean,
so make sure you make them. Send us a picture, like many of you, when you make the recipes. Share with us your pictures. And if you have any questions about the recipe, the ingredients, you can always send me a private message, and I will be more than happy to respond to you.
this is the reason why I'm the fat one. See?
Okay, yeah.
You haven't taken a bite.
Because I've already eaten like 2 muffins. So
He's got his girdle on and he doesn't want to pop it and pop
No.
my eye out or something.
no,
I think
I've
that's what it is.
I've already had 1 too many muffins. But you like them?
I don't like them. I absolutely love them. But you know what this means? It means tomorrow morning I will be running. Just saying. That's what this means. But I can't help it. I could eat like 5 of these right now.
Well,
And I
breakfast-
didn't- you know, I
breakfast
did
for
not-
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I'm still here tonight.
Well, more tonight, of course.
I did not even put butter on this. And this is phenomenal. It's amazing. It's
Yes.
just amazing. So
Amazing.
we gotta go. It's 8:18.
We do
so-
have to go. Thank you guys for joining us. We will be here.
Oh no!
No, we won't be here.
I hate saying
next
this.
Sunday, but
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes.
2 weeks because
We
we're
have travel.
yes, we're going away. So we're not going to be here. So we have to do 2 weeks. It's just one of those things that the holidays just kept falling on these, crazy Sundays that we just couldn't do the show. So, but in 2 weeks we will be back with
But that
bells
means that
on.
they'll miss us even more when we come back.
But I'm always doing lives and we're always doing something
Yes,
around.
yes,
So
yes,
it's,
yes.
It's all good. So, but we can't leave you yet because you know why? I know you're waiting. I'm waiting too. Girdle guy, come on, let's go.
You're walking along the street, or you're at a party, or else you're alone, and then you suddenly dig. You're looking in someone's eyes, you suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big. You're looking at 21 and watching your diet, declining a Charlotte Russe, accepting a fig, and out of the clear blue sky, it's suddenly guy and guy, and this could be the start of something big.
Remember that,
I
baby.
hope you tried the muffins. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.